It's time for a what I crocheted in 2025 wrap up video. This is just the pile of wearables that I made, and then I have a bunch of other smaller crochet projects that I want to talk through. I thought it'd be fun to start with what I made this year for myself as far as wearables go. Let me set these down. So I'm looking at my pile here, and I also have a few other things that I wasn't holding in my hands to show you guys. So we're just gonna get right into it. Today we're talking through everything that I crocheted. We're gonna do a try on haul to start. I am a size 18-20 2X. I'm 5'10" for reference. If you're a plus size crocheter, shout out to you, shout out to us. So let me go put on the first piece and then we'll talk through it. I made 2 exact crochet tube tops this summer. This is one of them, and I made it in this what I call like fall colorway. I have a tutorial if you would like to make one of these. Super simple. It's just double crochets, one long panel, and an I-cord for the plus size baddies out there who need a little bit more structure and security as far as like tying things go. I love an I-cord for stuff like this. So all my straps and stuff are I-cords because they just feel a little bit stronger to me. So I really love this top. This is the second one that I made later in the summer. So I did a better job that time around. I made the panel a little bit smaller and the fit is just better. Like when I tie up this top, everything just gets sucked in really nice and it doesn't stretch out too bad throughout the day. I've worn this a few times and have been happy with how it wears. I posted this on the Clock app and I got a really good question about like what kind of bra I wear. I'm wearing my Skims nude strapless bra, the one that's like my skin tone. And so this is my favorite strapless bra for any like crochet stuff that I'm gonna wear, because of course like you tend to still can see a little bit of the holes and stuff. It's just nice to wear this bra and not have to worry about it. So yeah, if anybody was curious, that is the bra that I'd be wearing. I really like this top, so let me try on the second one. This one, it's the exact same. Should I try it on? Do y'all? I mean, we probably don't need to try on both, but this was the other top that I made. Much more summery, more bright colorway crochet tube tops. Those are 2 things that I made. My next crochet wearable is this. It's supposed to be like a cowl neck crochet top. This summer, the crochet cowl neck tops went really crazy. So of course I had to make me one. And what I really love is how I modified this, because I just cannot have my back out. That's just not something that I feel comfortable wearing. A lot of crochet pieces is always like just the front of a top. And it's like, that's really cute that you have a nice looking back that you're not afraid to show. But me, however, as for me and my body, the back got to be covered up. And so I just added a back panel to my top. So it's kind of like a back out shirt compared to like just like the front and completely having your full back open. I just can't move like that. Yeah, let me try on this top and then we'll talk about it. Okay, this is the cowl neck top with the back covered. I really love this top. It was super simple. It was just 2 rectangular panels. When you make the rectangular panel, you just make it longer than shoulder to shoulder length. So this is my shoulder to shoulder length. I want to make it longer so that it creates the cowl neck part. I actually kind of like the way it sits. So yeah, I wore this all day. It wore great. Same bra. And then I know I talked about I-cord. For this one, I just made a chain because the 2 were going to tie up together, and it's super comfortable. I love the color. For the yarn that I used for this top, I used a DK weight. I'm pretty sure it was the Lion brand DK weight yarn in the color Cameo. I forgot to mention what yarn I used for the tube top. This was my crack at a crochet cowl neck top. I think it makes the girls look great. This project also works up super fast. I think a lot of people are always kind of nervous as a plus size person crocheting wearables that it will take forever. This is a really good project that works up super quickly. Shout out to the summer and being able to be half naked. Next is this long line mesh cardigan. I guess I could just slide this on. It'll look a little funny, but you guys will get the point. It's a long line, so it's the length all the way down to the floor for me. I did modify this. I used Amazing-ish Grace's Mesh Me Up pattern to crochet this. She has a Mesh Me Up top pattern, and it's a regular length, kind of like stops right here. Typical shirt length. Added more rows to the bottom to make mine long line. Her pattern is made to measure, so it was really easy to adapt to my plus size body. I used the Lily's Sugar and Cream yarn for this in the color black. Free-handed skirt. Came out a little bit big. I made this skirt in February for a Mexico trip that I was going on and pretty much free-handed it. I worked in the round for this skirt and then double crochet mesh stitches, and then did looks like a single crochet chain for a what do you call it, for a waist tie thing. Oh, and then for the bottom I just did ruffles. This skirt leads me to my second skirt that I made for the summer for another trip that I went on later in the summer. And I did the exact same thing for this skirt to start. I crocheted a mesh skirt and I actually made it tighter. I made the waistband tighter. I still started in the round. I just made this a lot tighter. Like what I thought would fit around my body, I made it smaller so that I could account for any stretching that would happen. And this one doesn't even need a, what is it called? A strap or like something to tie around your waist to keep it up because it fits so well. Yeah, I did the waist, worked in the round, and the whole base is just a double crochet mesh stitch. So I did that for the length of the skirt that I wanted, and then I went back and added all these ruffles, which took a lot of time. So I will say, plus size girls, this one took a minute. And I was actually being super particular. I used the Michaels, I'm pretty sure Loops and Threads Facets brand of yarn because I love this colorway. I love how it ombres. I was being super particular, and so I did like a round of triple crochets and then I went back to do another round, and sometimes the yarn wasn't matching up, so I got to a point where I was like cutting off the yarn so that it would match. So like the orange would be with orange, pink would be with pink, etc. So yeah, I was being a little particular there, but this skirt came out so cute. Next, this probably took the longest amount of time, and I will say that I probably worked on this for about 2 months as far as time goes. I don't know like how many hours or anything I actually spent on it, but it did take me a while. So I'm pretty sure there's like close to 90 granny squares that make up this dress, and then I just sewed them together. And for the length of the dress, I did a, can you see that? Probably not. I weaved them together with a single crochet because I liked how it created this seam. Here's the dress on. It is so cute. I've gotten a ton of compliments on it. I've actually only worn it out once. I'm looking forward to wearing this again next fall, but I'm really happy with it. I chose the color specifically with the fall in mind. I wanted to do like browns, but also still very me, like pink and stuff like that. So yeah. This dress, super cute. I had to do a little bit of shaping for this dress, so I ended up putting in a piece of yarn all the way around the waist so that I could pull in the waist a little bit and make it more like umpire waistline, just so that I got the shape that I was looking for, because yeah, the shape is important to me. So as far as the length goes, I'm really happy with the length. I did use a dress that I already really love as a guide, so this is another one where I didn't really have a pattern, just my own brain and TikTok to help me. There's a girl who made a granny square dress that I saw on TikTok, so I used her videos as a reference and then just kind of figured it out from there. You just make all your granny squares, and then like I said, I used a dress that I already had in my closet for a reference as far as like width goes and as far as the length goes, and that helped me figure out about how many granny squares I needed to make. And we're getting down to the last of my wearables. This is actually my mama's wearable. Just came back from New York City and my mom really wanted a scarf, so I busted out a scarf for her very quickly in like 2 days and loved her so much that I decided to make myself one. So I'll show you guys mine in just a second. For her scarf, she is 5'5", and I crocheted the length because that's what I prefer. I just like the way the lines look. You see how the lines are going down instead of across, instead of crocheting the width. So I prefer the look of that. I think it just looks really nice with your coat. I like the lines that it creates. So I chained 200 for hers. I believe she's 5'5", and this is what we have. This is the Michaels brand of like the wool yarn that they have, and this is the color raspberry, I think, or it's like raspberry like. And this is my scarf. I did the same exact thing. I was actually knitting this scarf, but it was taking me forever, so I undid it and decided to crochet one because I saw how fast I could work up my mama's scarf. So this is my scarf. I just did a lighter pink, and I believe this is the Lion brand Woolies yarn just because I liked the color pink that they had compared to the Michaels brand. The only differences between my mama's scarf and mine, I chained 225 for my scarf, and I am 5'10", but I don't recommend that because my scarf came out to be very long. It was like almost touching the floor. At some point, I think I'm going to take this scarf apart and redo it, but I recommend if you are going to chain the length for a scarf, 200 to 210 is probably just fine. I just wanted mine super long because I wanted to like tie it all the way around my head and bring it back around and still have some scarf hanging down, if you can picture that. So yeah, that's why I was being extra, but I don't recommend chaining that much because this is a super duper super long scarf. Okay, y'all, we have transitioned to the couch so we can talk through everything else that I made this year. But there's one wearable that I don't have in my possession because I didn't make it for myself. So I crocheted my nephew a pair of shorts for his first day of kindergarten, and they came out so cute. They were pencil inspired, so those are his shorts that I made. I was just so worried about the fit. I made them, my sister and him, come to my house so many times so that we could try on the shorts throughout the whole process, because I just could not have my boy losing his shorts on the first day of kindergarten because he would not let me live it down. Made the shorts for him. They actually worked up really easily. I will say I had a hard time finding patterns for the shorts specifically because I knew how I wanted them to look, so they didn't need to be like super crazy and be made from a granny square or anything like that. Just super simple shorts construction is what I was looking for. I didn't find a whole lot out there when I did a Google search and stuff like that. So I also freehanded these, just kind of looked at some YouTube tutorials at like the general construction of a pair of shorts, and like I said, just did a lot of trial and error, tried them on with him many times throughout the process to make sure they were fitting well. We made it happen. They came out really good. My one thought on these shorts, I would like to figure out how to get the seaming a little better, because when you look back at your finished products, like at bucket hats for example, the seam always kind of ends up going a little bit slanty. I would like to improve on that if I ever make another pair of shorts again. I don't think I'll be crocheting any shorts for myself just because the way crochet sits, the way I like the silhouettes of my shorts, seemed like the two would be a little bit difficult to create in that way, like in a crochet version. So I probably won't be making any shorts for myself, but for the girls who like have an apple shape and the clothes be sitting right on your body and you like have a waist and good hip to waist ratio, shout out to you. I'm sure crochet shorts look great, but I have an apple shaped body, and I just don't like silhouettes that kind of like cling to my body. I prefer fit and flare silhouette. So yeah, I digress. So I made those shorts for my nephew. Those came out really cute. I don't know if this technically counts as a wearable, but I made it and you do have to wear it. Meg the Stallion, she always does her jack-o'-lantern pictures on October 1st, and I was waiting on my girl to drop her pictures this year because I got the idea to crochet a giant pumpkin head. It's not really sitting like how I wanted to sit, but I wanted to crochet a giant pumpkin head to drop these pictures just like our girl Meg the Stallion. So this came out exactly as I pictured it. I'm very happy with it. It literally fits on my head. I'm not putting it on today, but this is another thing that I crocheted this year. I'm debating if I want to change out the mouth for next year because the eyes are actually crocheted, but then the nose and the mouth I sewed on. So I could easily change these up just like our girl Meg the Stallion does and give myself a new pumpkin head for next year. We'll see what happens. Isn't that so funny? I did use a tutorial for this. You can find it on YouTube. You can purchase her written pattern on Etsy if you want, but I believe her channel name is called The Soulful Now. So if you're interested in making yourself a giant pumpkin head, the tutorial's out there. I thought this was such a fun project. I had a pretty good time making it. Next, we're moving into the smaller stuff that I make. I love a good handbag, and I especially love a t-shirt yarn handbag, so I make these all the time. I made this for my trip to Mexico, that same trip that I made the mesh skirt for. Of course, I had to make me a little bag. So made me this cutesy little crochet handbag. I just love t-shirt yarn. I love how I like the structure that it provides. So yeah, this worked up super quickly. It's just 3 granny squares. I did 3 granny squares of 4 rounds, and then I just made a quick little single crochet handle. And then this next set of handbags are all the same handbag. I just made them in different colors and I love them so much. They eat so bad. So here's one, here's 2 in a black color, and then here is the 3rd in this blue. And I decided to add a chain for this one, and I just looped them on with some hardware. These bags have become my new favorite bags. I really liked making them. They work up super quickly. And I found these little liners. All of them match. So red for red, black for black, blue for blue. I ordered these liners from Amazon. So I just measured the bag and just kind of took a guess on what size I thought would work best. Now I have a cutesy little bag, baby, perfect for your wallet and your lip gloss. and your sunglasses. I'm pretty sure I made a few more bags because I did a crochet market earlier in the year in May, and I made some extra handbags. So I know for sure I made like an all pink granny square triangle handbag, and I think I made an all brown one too. So yeah, I made a few handbags. I'm just not showing them all to y'all because that would be a little bit repetitive. So my handbags. Another smaller project that I made this year are these scrunchies. This is always a super quick project, but surprisingly, I had never made a scrunchie before. I've been crocheting since 2023, and I had never made a scrunchie before, but I was looking for something that I could make very quickly for a crochet market that I signed up for super last minute, and I decided to just whip up some scrunchies to see how they sell. The gag is they didn't sell at all, so I made 10 scrunchies, and I still have 10 scrunchies in my possession, but oh well, it's fine. It's fine. So they work up super quickly. I would say like 20-30 minutes you can whip out a scrunchie. So super great project, stocking stuffer gifts for people, or if you are a teacher and you want to make scrunchies for all the girls in your class or something like that, this could be a really great project. In addition to wearables, I'm kind of learning, now that I've been crocheting for a little while, I'm kind of learning what it is I like to make, what I don't like to make, and I'm finding that I really enjoy making bucket hats. I can whip out a bucket hat. That's kind of like if I'm bored, I'm gonna make a bucket hat, or if I don't have any other major projects going on, I'm gonna make a bucket hat. So I made a few bucket hats this year. Here's one. I made this one right around Halloween. I made one with ruffles and one with no ruffles. Thought it was just so cute. So yeah, made this one, and then made a bunch of checkered bucket hats because I'm obsessed, and I've really been specifically obsessed with crocheting these with cotton. I just like how they lay. They just feel like they move, drape a little bit better than acrylic before you steam them, or before you steam the acrylic ones, of course. I just thought these were super cute, so I was making a few of these all summer. As you can see, they have price tags on them because I'm sell them at my markets whenever I go. This one technically I did make in 2025, but I revamped it. Like I said, I just came back from New York, and this is one of the hats that I took to New York City. So when I tried it on, for whatever reason, the ears were funny. I just really obviously was terrible at sewing on ears last year in 2024. So revamped the ears, and then I also made it a little bit longer and put a brim on it. Little bear hat for an adult. Okay, and then I've been obsessed with scrap yarn beanies. So I finished this one, took this one with me to New York City, and then I really wanted to make a darker version because when I originally was making this, I had in mind that I wanted to be darker, but I think I'm just naturally like the bright pastel-y kind of colors. I love a pink to start. I love pink. And so I was like, oh, this is coming out more sherbety than I wanted it to be. And so I wear a lot of black also. So I was like, I need something that's going to give black. So I was super intentional with the colors that I chose and wanted to make sure that this one had a lot of neutrals, not a lot of neutrals, but I was intentional about putting the black and white and putting the brown and the dark brown in there so that it gives a little bit darker. Cause this one looks much better with my black shirt right now compared to this one. So this is not even finished for real. I'm low-key cheating because I haven't even weaved in all the ends. But I wanted to show it to y'all because it's basically done. It's basically done. So yeah, the darker scrap yarn beanie. So I made two of those, two of these, and two of these. This one hasn't been steamed either. So, all right, we're getting down to the end. I made this one for New York City also. This one is just a Yankees ball cap with crochet puff flowers on top. I just crocheted the puff flowers, of course, and then I used embroidery thread to sew the puff flowers down to the hat. Super simple. You just sew it through the hat. And then I added these little rhinestones that I had to the centers of the flowers because I didn't like how my crochet centers came out. They had a little bit of a hole and I didn't like the way that looked. So I just added a little jewel on the center of each of these. And I also love a little bit of bling. So for this flower on the brim, I just used some fabric glue and glued it down, and she's staying. So yeah, working out really well. I actually haven't even worn the hat yet, but I'm excited to once I do. And then I worked a little bit retroactively because I took a really big trip to Ghana last year, this time pretty much. And so I was like, duh, I need to make me a Ghana granny square. I had to look back through my phone because there's a bunch of other stuff that I made for other people this year that I gave away, obviously. So I made a few things for a few people this year that we also need to talk about. So I made 2 baby sets. I am actually still working. So I made 2 baby sets. I made the viral ruffle pants set. This is the one that I made. So I gave that one away. Freehanded the pattern because that's another one where I couldn't really find any resources or patterns that were free for me to use. So I just kind of put my head down and thought it through and created something through trial and error. And then I also made a stitch baby set. There's a stitch baby set, came out super cute. That one I did purchase a pattern for straight from Etsy, so I will make sure I link it below. I'll link all of the free and paid patterns in my description box if you see anything that you're interested in. During the same period of back to school, when I made the shorts for my nephew, I also crocheted some pencil themed hair bows. I made a traditional yellow bow, and then I also made a purple one, and so gave both of those away too because those were for other people. And then I made a UK themed handbag. I'll pop the picture up. That was another one that I made this year. Gave it away because it was also a commission. What else? Oh, this one's kind of like in the lane of amigurumi. I made a little baby hedgehog for my cousin. She was giving away to somebody for their birthday, so I made a hedgehog. I don't think I'm ever gonna make a hedgehog again, but it was fun to try. I'm still kind of in my era of like trying things out to see what I like and don't like. And I know that I don't love amigurumi. I know that for sure. But I am finding that I don't mind making small things, especially if it's for a market and I know it's going to sell. Or like if I've never made it before, I will try it once. So I tried the hedgehog once. That was enough for me. I really will not be making any more hedgehogs, but it was cute and I hope the person enjoys it. And then similarly, I was asked to make some seasonal garlands for 2 different people, but they wanted the exact same garland. So I just made the same thing twice. So they wanted me to make a fall garland, a Halloween garland, and a Thanksgiving garland. All three were bangers. I mean, I was so happy with finished product. I have never made a garland before. That was interesting to try out. That's something that I would make for other people because they came out so cute. So for the fall garland, I just did some fall pumpkins, like in a fall color, like browns and creams. And then I did acorns because my customers really wanted like true spacers, if that makes sense, or like the fillers. So we talked about like how they wanted like ball spacers. You'll see in the picture. So for the fall garland, I did the pumpkins. That's kind of like the star of the show. And then for the spacers, I made those little acorns. All the patterns that I used for each 3 of those garlands were all free. So those will be linked in my description box. Found them straight from YouTube. Didn't purchase any patterns to make the garlands. Very free. Very exciting. Made the fall garland and then I made a Halloween garland. For the Halloween garland, I did pumpkins, candy corn, and little baby ghosts, and I thought those came out really, really cute. And then again did ball spacers in between the like big amigurumi pieces of the garland. And then for Thanksgiving we did a just turkey garland. I just crocheted some turkeys. We did 5 on each garland and then did ball spacers again. The turkeys were a lot of work. They were just a lot of pieces, so I had to like crochet the body and the head and then crochet the wings and crochet the feet and crochet the beak and the little what do you call it, the red thing, crochet that part. So it was a lot of pieces, so I took a few days to work on that, like each of those pieces individually, and then you sew it all together. So a little bit time consuming, but came out super cute. And I've never been like I want to put up a garland in my house kind of person, but I was so sad to see those garlands go because they were all so cute. So I'm looking forward to doing more seasonal garlands. And this last group of crochet makes that I made this year, I'm so excited about because it's going to be like a new thing for me. So I have decided that I want to crochet a granny square for all of my travels that I take, like big travel. Like if I've been to the place before, probably not, but definitely like a new country that I go to, will for sure be making one of these. I've decided to start crocheting granny squares for each of my travels. So I went to Mexico City for my birthday last month in November and came back and made 2 granny squares to represent Mexico City. Of course, this is free to Kahlo. And then I made a marigold 3D granny square because I visited during Day of the Dead, and marigolds are a really big part of that holiday. So I thought these two were perfect representations of Mexico City. Super exciting. Both of these patterns I found for free. This one was a written pattern that I just found when I did a Google search, and then this one I found on YouTube. And then I worked a little bit retroactively because I took a really big trip to Ghana last year, this time pretty much. And so I was like, duh, I need to make me a Ghana granny square. I just decided to do the Ghanaian flag and kept it really simple. Didn't want to think about it too much. So yeah, this one is a solid granny square that I just kind of figured out how to create the stripes. So it's not perfect by any means, but this was the best that I could do at the time. And then I just crocheted a black star and then sewed that on. And I'm excited that all of these granny squares are turning out to be about the same size. I have no clue what I'm going to do with them. I asked about it on TikTok. People said I should make like a big old tapestry or something like that. Really great ideas. I just haven't figured out. So I guess we'll see, like, as I start to build the collection, if I decide to go the tapestry route or do something else. Let me know if you're interested in keeping up with my progress on these travel granny squares. I think it'll be a really fun way to document the places that I've been. When I think about my like 2026 crochet goals, I definitely want to make more wearables. I had it in my head that I was gonna crochet a sweater this year for the winter season, and winter isn't over yet. I could make something for January, February, March. So we'll see if I get that done. That's kind of like on my crochet to make list, is a crochet sweater. I have been knitting recently, so it'd be cool if I could like knit a sweater at some point in 2026 also. I also want to learn how to do Tunisian crochet. I saw a picture from TL Yarn Crafts, I believe, or one of her Tunisian crochet scarves is like color blocked, and I really liked how that looked. So I think that's something that I want to crochet next year. And then I also want to get into filet crochet. So I think it'd be cool to make like a cute little summery top that's filet crocheted. Those are the things on my crochet horizon. Time to wrap up this video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope it was fun for you to see me try on my crochet wearables at the start of this video and then kind of talk through the things that I made. I really have no clue how much stuff I made. I did write it down in a Google. Oh, there's some stuff that I also forgot. I forgot these like little apple plushies that I made and these rubber ducky plushies that I made. Some hair bows this year. And I made some flowers this year. I made a whole bunch of stuff. Most of it sold from my market, so I don't have it in my possession either. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. Like I said, let me know what you made down in the comments, and I will catch y'all in my next video.